Thousands of King Soopers workers are on strike. The employees started striking at 5 this morning. It's a story we've been bringing to you live since CBS 4 this morning. Thank you for watching CBSN Denver. I'm Michelle Griego. No deal was reached after weeks of negotiations. Last night, Kroger tried to avoid the strike by making its best and final offer. But it just wasn't enough. So today, workers are in front of stores voicing their demands. The strike impacts 78 stores from all across the Front Range, from Boulder to Westminster to Littleton and down in Douglas County. We've seen picketers outside stores in Glendale, Denver, and Aurora. And we haven't seen a strike like this for 26 years. The last time workers walked off the job at King Soopers stores was back in 1996. This time around, more than 8,000 workers will strike.
What we want is a livable wage, affordable health care, and a safe work environment.
While employees picket for those changes, the effects of the strike could be noticeable right away. For some stores, that may mean empty shelves or trouble staffing. So let's get right over to Shauna Kalafi, who is live at the store at Hampton and Sheridan, where workers gathered really early this morning, and I see they're still there. Shauna?
Yeah, starting at 5 a.m. and the ones I've spoken to say they will be here until the end, until they can reach a deal with King Soopers and the union. So I'm here with Angelica. She's a pharmacy tech here. You've been working at King Soopers for about 5 years, but it's really in the family for you, right?
Yes, both of my parents have worked for King Soopers since the 70s. My dad actually retired after 40 years. My mom's got about 43, 44, so she'll be retiring from here. I've got an aunt, I've got 2 cousins, and myself. So, yeah, it has very much been in the family. So this is very important. So, I mean, you know, they've been through multiple strikes. I remember the 96 strike. I was 11. Much different because, you know, it's like being a kid. You don't really understand. But, I mean, you know, I'm standing out here. I mean, I'm not going to cross. If you cross, I feel that, you know, nobody wins here. You know, it's like if you cross, then what are we out here fighting for? Why did we bother going on strike? The most important thing right now, I think, is it's not just about the wages. I mean, yes, that is important. Yes, Denver has gone up in pricing on everything. But if they just throw, but the thing is, if you just throw, oh, we're going to increase the wages, it's like you need to look at the whole thing. We need health care. We just crossed 1,000 cases in King Soopers. There's been at least 5 deaths that we're aware of. You know, it's like it's affected everybody. It's affected our communities. I mean, I've got people who right now, we haven't had a lot of people crossing. And the people that are scared because they're like, I'm just here to get my medication. But during the whole pandemic, you know, it's like we've been here. You know, it's like you say we're essential. You say that we are needed. It's like, please show us this. I mean, because sometimes it feels like essential became a coverall HR term for sacrificial, expendable. And it, you know, it's like, no, that's not what we are. It's like we're, you know, it's like right now we're shutting down. There are people right now that are probably very much freaking out, kind of like with the first pandemic lockdown. You know, it's like they're probably feeling, how am I going to feed my family now? Because we have people that don't have the ability to have a car. You know, they can't go anywhere else. So they're scared to cross, but they have to because they're like, otherwise I don't eat. My kids don't eat.
And we've been seeing a few shoppers, like you said, crossing this picket line as well, but also some people we've seen driving up, maybe didn't know about the strike, seeing the signs and turning right back around. So what's it like to see that support, all the honking from people passing by?
It feels really good. I mean, as you can just hear, I mean, we've got semi-trucks doing that. I mean, I was standing at the corner up over here by the gas station, and I mean, we're waving at people and they're honking and waving at us, you know, letting us know that, like, hey, you know, you guys keep fighting the good fight. You know, we're supporting you. We're not going to cross that line. You know, and they're telling us like, oh, you know, it's like my family member worked for King Soopers or my dad worked for some kind of a union. It's like union all the way. So, you know, I mean, it feels really good to see that the community is actually, you know, I mean, the fact that this parking lot is empty. I mean, this is a huge store. This is a big store. And the fact that it's empty, the fact that, yeah, we've got people that like they're coming up, they're realizing, because it's been almost 30 years since we've had a strike. So what are they going to do? You know, they haven't seen this before. They're like, oh, wow, this is serious.
And this is more than 8,000 employees across Colorado who are striking starting today. And the union says they will continue to strike and have these picket lines up outside of the stores until they can reach an agreement with King Soopers. There was that final offer last night that was rejected by the union. So, again, the main points that they want is higher wages, affordable health care, and safer working environments. And that's something that you're hearing from employees across the board, right?
Oh, yes. And I mean, and as a pharmacy tech, to me, it's like we've all been exposed. We've all been, I think, at the same risk. I feel like pharmacy, it's like we've been getting it too because we have people that are coming in actively sick. And, because we get that all the time. I mean, when cold and flu season comes, it's like you get the little kids, and I mean, it's like, yeah, you got strep. It's like, just please don't give it to me in the process. But, I mean, the whole time, it's like we've had people that, and we've also had issues with the mask mandates where we've got people that will all actively tell us that it's like, oh, by the way, I tested positive like 3 days ago. And they're out not wearing a mask, and it's just like, you want to take a step back. And, it's very scary. I mean, and then, a lot of the, and of course, a lot of the other unpleasantness because people are stressed, so they take it out on retail employees, unfortunately. But I mean, yeah, as a pharmacy, being in the pharmacy, it's like we're seeing this because we're also we get phone calls from everybody, asking about the shots, about the latest supposed miracle cure that may or may not work. And I would not recommend any of those, to be honest with you, because what people are supposedly using, it's not going to help you with the COVID. It's really not. It's like, it might help very few people, but you would probably have the really bad side effects before you would actually feel better with your COVID, if you had COVID at all.
So a lot of challenges that King Soopers employees have been facing, especially these past couple of years. And again, what they're fighting for, higher wages, affordable health care, and better working conditions. And we'll be checking back in coming up on CBS 4 News at noon. So I'll send it back to you guys for now.
Shauna, I just want to ask you, you mentioned all of the supporters who have come in. Some may not even know about this strike. They see the signs and then they turn right back around. And we've seen, some cars right behind you honking in support. Has there been a surprisingly number of people coming through and crossing those picket lines?
Yeah, there have been, at least to me, it was a surprising number of people, and we were just talking about this, actually crossing the picket line, going in with their shopping carts. But like we were just talking about, some of them are actually letting the strikers and the employees outside know, hey, I'm just going in to get my prescription. I still support you. So some people having to go in out of necessity, but also we've seen a couple people just walking in, kind of not even looking in the employees' directions and just going in to get their shopping done. So a lot of people on both sides supporting, and then others just kind of minding their business and not really paying any mind to these employees. Again, the strike is going to continue, according to the union, as long as it takes. So there should be more of those decisions for shoppers to come.
Okay. All right. Shauna Kalafi, thank you. And King Soopers called the decision to strike reckless and self-serving. President Joe Kelly said, quote, Local 7 is putting politics before people and preventing us from putting more money into our associates' pockets. A reminder, King Soopers and City Market stores are open during this strike. Now, King Soopers says the company is working to avoid disruptions and keep every store open by hiring temporary workers.
No one wins in a strike. Our associates don't win, our customers don't win, and it does make it more difficult for us to operate our business.
If both sides cannot come to an agreement, the union says it is prepared to strike for 3 weeks. In the meantime, customers will have to choose whether to cross that picket line. Here is a look at the latest offer from King Soopers to the union. It includes an investment of $170 million over the next 3 years. That includes wage increases of up to $4.50 an hour and bonuses based on the job classification and years of service. King Soopers says its offer would result in no increase to health care premiums through 2025. Of course, we'll continue to follow the negotiations and update you if and when an agreement is reached. And you can watch CBSN Denver anytime through our streaming app. We'll have another update for you coming up on CBS 4 News at noon.